Hello, hello. What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in to Soulcast. This is a podcast where we allow the soul to broadcast information, knowledge, wisdom, quotes, opinions, and so much more. Reminding everyone who is listening that this is only, and I mean only, for informative purposes. I only speak from my own experiences, okay? What is spoken on Soulcast are my truths, my beliefs, and it's all based off of what I've learned from others around me, what I've read in books, and what I experienced entirely on my own. Soulcast is here to express, shine light on, and challenge all things mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical. Everything is up for discussion over here, okay? Feel free to email us for topics you'd like us to discuss. It'll be below in every episode details, okay? Now, let's get into the good stuff. I'm Mila Nunez, your host. Let's talk about it. Okay, you already know what type of episode this is gonna be. Whew! Let's talk about this week. Let's talk about what's going on with each other. Let's get into it. Hey everyone. I know it's been some time since I've last posted an episode. I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through some transitions and making major adjustments with minor setbacks, but these setbacks are here to help me overcome what I'm going through so I can get back up on my feet, right? Um, I am currently in San Diego, California, my hometown. What? I've been here since Thursday, and I was slightly worried about coming back only because the last time I came back was for like my brother's 1 year anniversary of him passing through. And so I wasn't entirely sure when I was going to be back. But then, my mom's 50th birthday was this weekend. Happy 50th birthday, Mom. It was a great time seeing my family and my close friends. I didn't get to see everyone because everybody still has their lives. They still have their plans and what they're going to do. And I also didn't advertise it as much as I normally do, starting to slowly move in silence and kind of feeling and understanding what that means, right? Um, but I've been here all weekend and it's been very comforting. Based off everything that I'm going through, the past few weeks have been very intense for me, and uh, this trip has allowed me to kind of just calm down, be held with comfortable energies that I've wrapped my world around for the past few years. And being here was very eye opening. Catching up with people, knowing that I'm not the only one going through these struggles or going through transitions that, we would rather not be going through. Um, it was great to kind of catch up and talk about the new place that I'm living in. And if you guys don't know, I live currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's been a huge culture shock for me. I've been there since May, so it's been like 6 months, um, or seven, I would say. And it's an adjustment, right? So being able to come back home and talk to the people who know me and facing that different version of me again, right? And that's what it comes down to. So I had a few conversations with people and we were discussing about how life just be lifing, right? Life is just lifing. And what that means is depending on our own lives and how we want to live our lives and where we're at in our journeys, our lives are going to be lifing in so many different kinds of ways. And it was great to be able to relate and connect with my people from my past version of self or my past way of living and still understand that we're going through very similar things just in different ways. And what I've learned through talking and conversing with them was that I'm shifting directions in my passion. Um, I was talking to them about dance, and somebody asked, "Are you still dancing, or are you going to do your classes?" And I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not." And it's not that I don't have a desire to. Like that's my first love. Dancing is definitely my first love. I've been wanting to be a dancer and a choreographer since I was 7. I have lived that dream. I have accomplished that dream. And I'm someone who loves to like accomplish things, try new things, and see this and that. But when I was faced with that question yesterday over drinks by the beach, it was great. um, it made me realize how I'm very passionate about making connections and connecting with individuals, whether we be from the same city, whether we are from a different state or a different country. I want to hear what people have to say and what they like, and I would say their perspective and their perception of reality, right? We all live in different worlds and different, um, like, we have different goals and aspirations and wants and needs and desires, right? And to be able to talk with her and have her ask me this, I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm more passionate about talking. I want to create a space where I can have people fly out and converse with me, or I fly out, or I road trip and meet these kind of people and see how they are and how what it took to get to their journey, right? And it's just something that was really put into perspective for me yesterday. And I was like, okay, so how do I go about this now? Right? I did my dance classes. I love dancing. I love it like to the moon and back. I love dancing. However, I don't know if that's my purpose, my focused purpose, which is different, from talking. I mean, it's a different form, right? Teaching. That's a teaching um love of mine, right? I love teaching. I love exploring bodies and letting people understand what this feels like in their body. But I think I want to say move past that, and I'm moving in a different direction, and that's okay, right? More of the story is that it's okay to shift passion. It's okay to change lanes. It's okay to choose a different path. I need to learn how to let go of something and be willing and open to trying something new and living in a whole different city, in a whole different state, across the state, over 2,000 miles away. Um, I'm proud of myself, and I don't, if you guys are anything like me or have this relation with me when it comes to small joys and little wins, I don't celebrate them. I don't cherish them. I don't acknowledge and recognize them, because I'm always expecting so much more out of myself and trying to reach this and trying to reach that and blah blah blah. And it's not okay to pass up those little joys and those little wins and those accomplishments, because everything is part of the journey, right? And it's funny because I'm reading this book called The Inner Work. It's like an invitation to true freedom and lasting happiness. I love reading stuff like this only because, like, it. Let's see. So it offers a new perception and perspective of life and just how to's of things. It's not like my Bible. I'm not gonna like, yes, this is it forever and ever. Like, it actually just gives me a different perspective on how to look at things. And if I'm feeling very pessimistic and negative that day, I'm gonna read something that's gonna bring me out of that funk, right? Um, so the section I was reading is called The Chase. I'm bringing this up because I just talked about how I'm someone who wants to accomplish things, and like I don't need to. I want to try something new, but I want to do this and I want to do that. I have to keep going and chasing that one thing and keep on that path. But like I'm always wanting to accomplish things. I'm always wanting to learn something, and so in this section, um, the part that I'm going to read is it's a long little section, but it's a goodie. It really helped me also acknowledge like things within myself that like I didn't see were that I didn't see clearly, I would say, right? Um, so I'm gonna read it to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a really good passage, and I'll talk about a little bit after, like what part resonated with me the most and like why. Um, so again, this is called The Inner Work. I got it off of TikTok. Um, yeah, don't mind me. But the author is Matt and Ash. Really cool. I haven't got too far into it, but the section I'm reading on page 14 and 15 is called The Chase. And this, I'm reading like the third paragraph of that one, and said, there they were actually talking about uh, like a level of consciousness, I would say. Um, and if you guys don't hear behind me all the waves, I'm sitting at Sunset Cliffs, like I mentioned earlier, and the water is raised so high. I have not seen it this high in a long time, and so it's literally right in front of me. I could get splashed if I got like a little bit closer to the cliff, the end of the cliff. But anyways, yes. Okay, so the passage says, "This fragile mentality mistakes happiness, freedom, inner peace, and love as things that can be given or taken away from us in any instant. When someone says something we don't like, inner peace is replaced with worry or defensiveness. If someone falls short of our expectations, joy is replaced with disappointment. If obligations arise, we are filled with resistance. If someone interrupts us, we are triggered with impatience. The result of this externally focused perspective is that we have allowed circumstances and other people to bestow good or bad emotions upon us, wrongly accrediting them as the givers or thieves of our joy. However, both favorable and unfavorable emotions are neither the result of conditions or other people's actions. They are the direct result of which theme of consciousness we are living in and our chosen response to our life's circumstances. I don't know what about this passage like really like got to me, but I think it's just in my interpretation of this is how we allow external forces or other people's beings or other people's actions, words, thoughts, or whatever the case may be, interrupt and disturb our natural flow of love, light, and happiness, right? So, for example, he was saying that the fragile mentality mistakes happiness, freedom, inner peace, and love as things that can be given or taken away. Those things cannot be given or taken away from us. However, relating to my situations and the transitions and the obstacles that I have been faced these past few weeks, I have allowed those things to dictate my happiness, my freedom, my inner peace, and my love, right? So, how can we get back to an internal stability, like a stabilized internal focus to where even though we are faced with these hardships, even though we are faced with these transitions and downfalls and drama, trauma, all these things, how can we be so stabilized and balanced with ourselves to where that none of these things can take away our happiness? You know, and I notice for me that when I am faced with certain things that kind of shift the energy within me, it brings me on a very low operating level. And it it allows the way that I am going about life, and this is my chosen response, right? This is how I'm choosing to respond to this. It allows me to see everything around me as a test or as something to be taken away from me. And based off of my past and my trauma and the things that I've been through and experienced, I see when I am faced with certain circumstances that it's being taken away from me, right? Like, oh, this is being taken away from me because I didn't do this or I didn't do that. It's like, why not think of it as this was a test to see if this is something you want or don't want, or is this something that you need to learn from? Me and my good friend Nicole, we were talking about like things that are placed in our lives for a reason, and it neither being good or bad, right? It's just a learning curve. It's just something that we are faced with, and we get to choose how we want to go about this. For example, if it's a person that you're dating and you're like, oh, this person's really cool and I like them and it's so nice, and then you're faced with obstacles and you're like, ooh, I don't know, this person's not cool anymore, this person's not, dope or whatever. But are we choosing to say that this behavior or this or whatever has happened is like making the person like shifting? Or if it's a job and you're like, yo, like this job seems really cool, the people are nice, and then boom, like some stuff happens and you're like, okay, you know what, fuck this place because da 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 this and this is happening. But does that mean that the job itself is terrible? No, right? So it's like, how do we also allow things to keep its happiness? So instead of just us as well, right? We have to make sure that we are okay. We are balanced within self and understanding. Like, sorry, guys, side note, there's this surfer guy in the water, and I watched him like swim all the way across the cliffs. And he has the best view in the spot because, like, he legit is just sitting on his surfboard looking at the water while the water is rocking him. And he is so grounded and just so connected right now. And it's just so beautiful to me. And I'm low key like, man, I wish I knew how to surf. I wish I would be right down there with him, you know? And anyway, that's just a little quick side note and observation that I like saw. Um, but yeah, so this section of the book has been very interesting because I am someone who can allow good or bad emotions to dictate my actions and my behavior. And so how can I allow myself not to be externally focused on things to replenish my joy and my happiness and my freedom and my inner peace, like all of these things, right? Peace of mind. Um, and it's this currently where I'm at right now. I'm sitting here on the cliffs with my favorite element of this world, water and earth, because I'm sitting on the cliffs. Like earth and water is just, it's me. Yeah. Um, and I'm by myself, and I'm creating a fucking podcast episode just, because this is my thing. This is what makes me happy. And the sun, he's just shining bright down on me, and I'm in my own energy, in my own home energy. It's not the water that makes me feel this way. It's me coming here to know what's bringing me that inner joy and that inner happiness. It's sitting by myself and sitting quietly and soaking up the sun and listening to the water and being grounded on the sand on earth. I truthfully miss being by the water this much. I can see what happens when I am away from water for 6 months, 7 months. um, but who's to say I can't find a new way of finding this little bit of joy, right? When I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, I try to find things with trees, outdoor stuff. Being with a lot of trees is a different type of energy field too. It's so different, it's a different kind of groundedness. It's a different kind of energetic pool. It's different, and being able to find and learn different ways of it and different types of living and different types of just learning and cultures and doings of things, um, it's really nice. It's really nice to be able to come back home and really just remember the life you used to live and who you used to be when you were here, and then not unfairly like comparing the two, but just recognizing the difference of who you were then to who you are now. It's very It's very powerful. And it's a good reminder, talking with the people that are here and that are still home and being able to say, this is what I've learned, this is different, and this and that, and then not realizing all of this. Like, I didn't realize this before I had this conversation with them. When I had these conversations with them, it allowed me to realize all the stuff that I've done differently, what I'm trying to do now and who I am now. And it's really great to experience. And I think I really needed this trip more than I thought I did. And when I get back home, I have to figure out a lot more things, and that's okay. I'm ready. I'm here for it. I know it's part of the journey, it's part of my path, and it's going to be a lot of shifts and transitions and changes, especially in my karmic. Man, my solar return, y'all, has been karmatic as fuck. We'll talk about that in a man. I cannot wait to bring up the conversations of karmatic energy, solar returns. Man, uh anyways, y'all. So thank you for listening to my Babble Time. Um, I hope you all are having a great November, and I hope that these weeks to come with family and the months to come with family, you guys very, very much cherish and enjoy them. Um, I will be releasing some new podcast episodes soon. I'm interviewing a lot of people, and in between that, going through a lot of transitions. So that's why it's been a couple of weeks since I've had a podcast episode launch. But I know y'all follow me. I know y'all keep up with me. I know that you guys understand, and this is why I appreciate and love and admire and respect all of you for supporting me and keeping up with my episodes and tuning in and sharing. Like, all of that is important to me, and even if it's in the subtlest ways, I love you guys for that. Um, yeah. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and hopefully I will be coming up with some new episodes to launch. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. Um, if you are interested in featuring on an episode, I promise you, you will not regret it. If you go to our Instagram page or if you go to our website, you can fill out information form. It'll give you dates and times that you are mostly available, what you want to talk about, because it's not only about what I want to talk about. I want to hear about what your thoughts are, what you feel, how you see the world, what the world needs to learn from you. That's what I'm here for. I can talk all day, but why not talk all day with other people? So please, I'll link the link in the episode details. Follow us on Instagram, Mind Soul Dance. Follow me, Mila Baby, Meelaabayy. Yeah, and stay tuned. I got jewelry too. I want to make sure that I'm also promoting that. I got a lot of things that I need to kind of start setting up for. Like I said, there's a lot of things coming, and I'm excited for it. So if you want to talk about what's coming up for you, if you have any advice, any suggestions, please leave it down in the comment section below. I love all the interactions and support. All right, you guys have a great one. Love you. Peace, love, and harmony. Hey. All right, y'all.